Pick a card, your highest self versus the world. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you at your reading. Hi friends, my name is Griselle with Psychic MD, and I'm here to do another pick a card reading. As you can see, I already laid out the cards. So for pile number 1, we're going to have the 9 of Wands. For pile number 2, we have the 7 of Cups. And for pile number 3, we do have the 10 of Cups. Take a peek, and this reading is going to be you versus the world. While you make your decision, I'm going to let you know we are going to be exploring how to be more authentic, why this is needed, why we need your authenticity, your most highest authentic self, and how this affects the world, and your oppositional forces, how they benefit from you not being your most authentic self, and whatever else comes through. So we'll be visiting these things. I already did a little intention. So that's what we have for you. Beautiful. I love that. It's so funny to me. Oh, it is still floating and floating. Yeah, but pretty much in the same way, be transformed. Be transformed and transparent. Yeah, this even looks like a mask. So taking off that mask. Let's see what transpires. I'll see you at your reading. Hi, pile number 1. If you chose this beautiful card, the 9 of Wands, then this is your reading. I'm going to pull a little bit more energy just to see what comes through for you. And you versus the world. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for popping in. And if you're a repeat offender, thank you so much for your patience. Pile number 1, you versus the world. How to be more authentic, your most authentic, highest self. Third party, you may be dealing with a karmic situation. Third party could be more than just romantic, by the way. You guys know that. And honest communication, yeah. Expect a heart-to-heart conversation. So this is actually way different than what I thought was going to transpire. But how to present yourself to the world in your most authentic, highest form is honest and clear communication. Obviously, if you have a third party, if it's a romantic situation, then honest, clear communication is going to be the most effective for you. That's for your highest good, for the highest good of other people. Let me tell you, there ain't nothing more dirty. Well, more dirty. The dirtiest feeling in the world is to try to deceive and bamboozle other people. I just feel like I know that people won't walk away from those situations, the deceivers, deceptors, I don't know what you would call them really. But even self-deception. So whatever is in the middle of things, you want to be really clear and transparent about that. Honest communication. Now, with the 9 of Wands, I have right here, there is a cat. And typically, that's not something we see in the 9 of Wands. Beautiful, beautiful cat. So she has a little bit of like the high priestess kind of vibe. And I feel like you already know you could have dealt with a lot of third-party situations in your romantic life. But I also feel like you could have dealt with a lot of situations that had interference in whatever it is that you're dealing with, oppositional forces, like direct oppositional forces. And I feel like those oppositional forces were directed towards you not winning, kind of a thing. And there's a need for clear communication in that as well. I especially know that because at the heart of her necklace right here, interestingly enough, it's almost like her neckline makes a diamond. And right there, the diamond is your vocal cords are so beautiful. But really, how you speak, what you say, and what we rely upon in this world to make it a better place. And for you to be your most authentic self is your voice. Speak your truth, honest communication, whatever it is that your intuition is giving you hits on, if you have that feeling, then you are 100% right. Because I'm feeling like this is almost like a high priestess kind of a thing. For those of you guys that read tarot or have been watching readings for a long time, you know. Now, you can't help but look at her leg right here. She has a stain, some kind of a, I heard entanglement. So maybe this is romantic. I don't know. Some kind of entanglement with her cat, or this cat. Doesn't even have to be hers. But it could be that maybe, you know, she had an intuition. I'm sorry to laugh here because this has happened to me many times. It's definitely no laughing matter. But it's like you get your intuition, intuitional hit. And you're like, ooh, this person is messing with somebody else. Or this person is actually taken. This person has designs on somebody else. Or when they're with me, they're thinking about somebody else. Or this job is already promised to someone else. And even though I'm interviewing, I know that this is just to go through like due diligence for appearance's sake kind of a thing. So whatever your intuition is, you could have acted against that intuition and it could have gone to bite you or scratch you, right? So I feel like because you don't listen sometimes to yourself, and you think, oh, that's just kind of, you know, it's just me being paranoid, me being always in a negative mindset, or me being, no, that's just you connecting with spirit and being in touch with your spirit animals, if you have any, you're familiar, but basically your intuition. And how to be more authentic is not to ignore your intuition, but to embrace it, embody it, if you will. And that is just sometimes even saying the difficult things. Now, intuition is not an easy thing because a lot of times it cannot be proven immediately anyways. A lot of times this is, it could look like you confronting a lover and saying, hey, I know that, you know, I'm not the only one, or I know that you are starting to wander, your mind is wandering, or, you know, or an employer, if they're ready to, you know, cut the cord with you, and maybe you're going to experience a job loss or something like that. Like, you know it in your gut before it ever happens. And confronting those situations can look like those, you know, different things, kind of like, oh, well, on Fridays I clear out my desk because I know you're just going to let me go. And it's just a matter of time. And it's not like doom speaking and negative mindset. Is your intuition telling you, hey, this isn't working out. So honest communication could be a big thing for you. Now, the interesting part with the Nine of Wands is you can come closer. And you can come close, but usually the Nine of Wands has like a fence. And I'm picturing it in the Lightseers Tarot. Again, if you're a collector of decks, such as myself, then when you know, you know. But on that deck, the fence comes right about maybe, I don't know, her chest level, somewhere-ish. And it's easily scaled. And that's just basically saying that, hey, you can come this close, but then you gotta like wait for me to motion. Yeah, you can come hither, you can come closer. I'm gonna make an assessment and I will decide how close you can come. And why? Well, because we've been through life experiences. We've been hurt, we've been not listening to our own intuition. And so we've had experienced a lot of battles and a lot of unnecessary battles. And I'm not like trying to speak down by a long shot. Let me tell you that I have ignored my intuition and it's done nothing but really come back to bite me. Then I can turn around and tell myself, I told you so. I told myself so. Nobody ever says that, right? But this is about you versus the world and how you show up. And I think that just embracing that little, even the way she has her head kind of like tilted over into the man's eyes right here. And this lady's like, I knew it, right? All sorts of like body language and unspoken things. And I feel like you could be facing, because I heard the word unspoken agreement, you could be facing a lot of unspoken agreements, contracts that you signed before you came into this world, that kind of a thing. But even facing unspoken agreements in your current 3D world with your current 3D self. And this can manifest in different ways. But first of all, I want to point out, I feel like you're very clairaudient. You can hear things. You can perhaps hear people's thoughts and you think that they're your own. So don't discount them. I feel like embracing those things in your intuition, because you know, if you take an account and at least write down like 4 different things, like those little paw scratches that scratched your leg, write down 4 different things that you had an intuition on, but you went against the grain of what transpired. And I think that you're going to see exactly what we're talking about right here, that you were defensive, that you were like, whoa, this doesn't feel good, something's up, it feels wrong. And then you did it anyways, or you allowed, things to unfold anyways, and you suffer the consequences. So if you kind of wrote those out, I feel like you're going to see that you headed down a path each and every time that was not good for you. And once again, not a judgment. Let me tell you, have I done that? I can give you real specifics, but I ain't trying to bore you either. So that's what that's about. Okay. Listening to your inner self, your highest self, and then communicating honestly about that. Sometimes that can be difficult to do. Now, why is this needed? Well, first of all, self-preservation, right? You have the ability to make a difference in your own journey and how you walk. And again, I'm getting walking because it's addressing her leg, and that's how we move throughout the world. Oh, hi. So I guess we're taking these, and they're brand new, so they're clumped together. I try to unstick them. Traveler, this is how you move in the world. Did we not just say that? And what does this say? So, seeker of horizons, adventure, experience, and long journey. Look, the magician. This is going to help you to manifest, okay? That's a pretty badass magician here. Challenger of power, potential, magic, illusion, and manifestation. And I feel like you currently keep your thoughts to yourself. You keep your intuitional hits a lot to yourself. I know that I don't speak on probably 80% of what I see because I don't really see a need to. And honestly, some of us that are really intuition based, that we move through the world with our intuition, we kind of use that to our advantage, not in a nefarious way, but really, at least for me, to dodge like pitfalls and bullets. Bobbing and weaving through life here, that's what we do, pile number 1, isn't it? So this gives you boss energy, master of wealth, risk, investment manager, and leader. And I feel like there is a need to be able to listen to your intuition and to speak with honest communication and go, I just don't feel like that's a whole story, or I need to put a pause on it. I need more information because like, for example, intuitively, I can feel if there's like women around someone that's trying to talk to me or things like that. And, and it doesn't necessarily matter in the first stages of dating, but if you feel like somebody is bound by somebody, like that's been my experience in one of the situations that I've been in so many situations. I'm just kidding. So let me just say that you don't want to be clowned. You don't want to feel like a clown, the jester of laughter, comedy mask, and the performer, right? And I feel like the more that you get into this energy of allowing people to see, and it's like, I'm just not feeling it. And from experience, I will tell you, they will deny it. They will deny it till they're blue in the face. Well, it behooves them to really not, them meaning anyone, to try to kind of placate and reassure you. But I feel like the more that you're just really direct and stuff, eventually people will be like, okay, we can't mess with this one because they see right through the BS. And maybe that's what's needed. That's what's warranted. I feel like you have big D energy. And for those of you, I got a potty mouth. I ain't going to say it. But I feel like you have big D energy. You have big boss energy, right? You're known for your communication style, and I feel like your communication style also can make people feel very, very connected with you. And this is needed because I feel also like this is a catalyst to help people to understand how to move in the world. They're going to take their cues from you in a lot of ways, and you could be thinking, well, how is that even possible? It doesn't make a lot of sense, but a lot of times spiritual things do not make sense until you give it its merit. And then it plays out, right? And I feel like you're going to have less scuffs on your knees. Pun intended. You're not going to have to worry about that clown because honestly, in the very end, people that are trying to come to you with lower vibration. And that has a lot to, to me, lower vibration is just insincerity. They're trying to get things out of you that really they have no business trying to, or they're just not straight up honest and things like that. But I feel like you and your voice really help people around you be authentic. They have no choice but to be honest, number one, with you. But most of all, I feel like this is a lifelong journey where you teach people just by your example of how you live and how you speak in your own real life situations. You teach people how to move with authenticity in the world, how not to be a liar, basically, how to be straight up, how to be upfront, how to make moves that have really big boss energy. Yes. And I'm actually looking out, I'm looking out into the forest, and there is a great mist. Well, not quite a mist, but it's a great fog. It's not a very thick fog, but a very gentle fog. And I feel like people have been lulled to sleep, very lulled into being placated, being pat on the head, not being able to take, I heard in Spanish, un pulgante. That means it's like a laxative. Ooh, sorry guys, but that's what I heard. So not being able to take the full truth of things. And we've been very kid gloved, okay, if you will. And a lot of us are in this slumber, in this state of like docile energy. And what I'm seeing when I'm looking out in the forest is almost like a figure that is wearing the skin of, it looks like, I don't know if it's a alligator or a crocodile. I know the nose has something to do with it, and identifying it, frankly, it just doesn't stick in my brain. But basically, this person is cloaked as a crocodile, but inside there's something totally different. And so you're going to help people to be able to remove those masks and to be able to move with their most authentic self. Why should we all be wearing, like, bear robes and tiger robes if you are not a tiger, if you're maybe a gnome, or if you're a fairy, or if you're, I mean, it doesn't make any sense that we're trying to be out here and like outfool each other to be able to make moves in the world. And it is so pretentious and so inauthentic and exhausting. And I think that you strip people from that, first of all, because they know that they can't mess with you. They can't deal with you. And they have no room to be around you because you could see right through the facade and the clown that they become. And second of all, it's very inspiring to be able to see that you can take el purgante, the, what do we call that? The laxative. Okay, you can take it like and just be really real. And yeah, it hurts sometimes, and it can hurt a lot of times, but authenticity is a great way to be able to move on from situations, to be able to even know where you're traveling to, right, with the traveler right here, to be able to manifest what it is that you want, and to travel light, not to have a lot of like drama and trauma. It's just very clear. It lends clarity. It lends a buoyancy. Did I pronounce that right? Who knows? But it's definitely how you, pile number one, are really needed in this world. Yeah, and it could be a burden. A lot of times you could feel like this is incredibly burdensome, but I feel like you've reached the time in your life, an era in your life, a stage in your life where you have exposed a lot of clowns, and now people can really see who you are in your most authentic self, and people are starting to take you more serious because you're like, yeah, I'm messing with that. And I can see it for what it is. And people have been exposed around you. And I feel like even through your silence, the way that you've made moves, people can see that you're not writing with, you're not, if people go, I want you to be my ride and die, and you're like, just die. You're not a ride and die for nobody. It's like a reel or something on TikTok, I think, or IG, I don't know. But if, anybody asks you if you're ride or die, you're like, die. I'm going to ride and die for me. Yes, you're very organic. I feel like, and you're allowing yourself to be expressed openly. And this opens up so many doors to the world because we live in so many different facades that we have a whole wardrobe of like a bear outfit and a panda outfit and a lion's outfit and the sex pot outfit and the, I don't know, the businessmen and the power players or jet setters, whatever the case is, that people actually think that they want from you, or that you think that people want from you, when in actuality it's like we need to cultivate the seeds of like who you are just by simply being authentic, by enjoying the sun on your face, by just being clearly you to the 10th degree. And that is going to help the world. I feel like that's going to lend sunlight to people. People can be a little bit like the audacity of pile number one, but also the incredible power of pile number one. So this is how you inspire the world. This is how you need to show up to be your most authentic, most powerful person. And we love that directness. We get a little bit like, that's edgy. It's a little scary. It's a little exciting. And have you ever been scared to, it's like a little bit spooked to where you get turned on at the same time? This is not 18 plus, by the way, but sorry. But I feel like that's the energy that you bring to the table. So pile number one, oppositional forces. Oh, this was supposed to be a quick read. Oppositional forces and how they benefit. Well, they benefit because everybody's in a pretend world. Yeah. A lot of people also benefit from you being your most authentic. And I'm not going to lie, because this is like being super transparent, and then somebody can come by and go, okay, well, this is what they want. They want to be viewed as a boss. And I give them all this like fake respect and all this like boss energy. And I can make moves to manipulate that, but that is not your problem. That's their problem. If they want to continue playing games and things like that, I feel like you are wise enough to allow what is good for you close to you, and what is not, you're just going to naturally repel it. And something like that could be cured with a sharp word going, An example I'm going to give you is a patient. One of my patients was sitting in my chair and told one of my coworkers, because she was commenting on how much younger we look and da-da-da-da. And this patient was just pretty docile and kind of, it was so unexpected. When I tell you, I was shocked. But she said, oh, let me take a moment to pry your lips off of my ASS. And I just about jumped out of my chair. I was so shocked, because nothing in her personality told me that this was going to transpire. But I feel like something like that is going to cut it to the quick. Once again, you're going to utilize your gift to the world, which is your speech, how you handle things. I feel like you do it with grace, with, I feel like you move almost like a dancer, and people could be shook initially, a little bit shocked. And then I feel like you earn just a lot of respect by being very direct. So I think that that is your energy. So if there's any residual fear that people are trying to take advantage of you, trying to manipulate and things like that, because that's how the oppositional force wants you back into that cage where you acquiesce, or how you kind of like give in to whatever it is that people expect from you, or they want you to play a certain role. And they benefit by you not saying anything, by you shutting down, by you cowering, or hiding what it is that you think or feel. I feel like you're going to see so much more of this, and you're sitting on the throne of blue, by the way. So this is once again talking about your throat chakra and how powerful and how needed is your voice in this world. So I am highly honored to be able to read for you. Thank you so very much for your time, your energy. Please do give me a like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know what else you would like to hear about as far as readings go, or if this reading resonated. I would love to know how. But if not, then I will hopefully see you at your next reading. Much love to you. Namaste. Hi friends, my name is Griselle with Psychic MD, and I'm here to do another reading for you. For those of you that are new to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping in. And for those of you that are repeat offenders, thank you so much for your patience with me. You chose pile number 2, the 7 of Cups. Now, I was doing a reading yesterday for a client, and I'm just in love with these cards. So, you know me, I'm a little bit OCD obsessive. So we're about to just go down this rabbit hole of using the heck out of this deck. Right? Look at this. You chose the 7 of Cups. Look at how beautiful this is. You have so many options. You versus the world. How you choose to show up in this world is going to be incredibly powerful, because I feel like you, out of all 3 piles, have like the most gifts, and you can benefit the world in unexpected ways. And I heard copious amounts of wealth. So maybe that's going to play in some way, somehow. So we are going to find out a little bit more energy on this. You versus the world. How to be your most authentic, your highest self. How to be your most authentic self for pile number 2. A little bit more information is needed. Proposal. Your romance is about to evolve and level up. Well, you know, this card is a quintessential I got options, right? So we're going to see how this goes. Oh, it's a Scotsman. That wasn't even like a Scotsman. Yeah, I don't do accents, so don't judge me. And marriage. What's up, Buttercup? Look, wedding bells are ringing. How cute. I love these cards. They're so freaking cute. Okay. So how you show up in the world, maybe this is you having your pick of the litter, I heard, and you making a proposal. Perhaps you are, how you show up in the world currently, or you're getting out of currently, is that you wait for the proposal to be given to you, whether this is romantic or business. You kind of wait for things to come towards you. But I feel like you're listening to your intuition. You could be very clairaudient, very intuitive, clairsentient. Even clairgustus is being addressed here by this being ice cream. We all scream. Just kidding. One moment, please. Okay. The Traveler card did fall out as I was just shuffling. This came out in pile number 1. You could have a connection there. It doesn't have to be. But this is about how you move in the world. And this came up reversed. So maybe perhaps this is stating that you have tried the different flavors. Like you've tried many different things, whether in business connections, friendship connections, or in love. But I feel like this is a propensity of how you show up in the world. This is you versus the world, pile number 2. And I feel like the biggest thing that I can see here is perhaps that you've tried so many different things, so many varieties thus far, that it's kind of prevented you from moving forward because you haven't really selected. You haven't made that selection, that commitment, that this is my thing, this is my jam, this is my ice cream flavor. Don't judge me if, oh gosh, I had a patient tell me, he was super attractive too. It kind of cracked me up. And he's like, well, I'm vanilla. And then he goes, well, in the ways of, and he tried to recover from that. There was no coming back from that, sir. But also, you're married, sir. Not having it. Don't care. Anyways, moving on. No shame in this game. I feel like maybe you've, tried different things and you need to make that selection, make that proposal. And it's more like, an involvement with yourself. You're kind of like, okay, you've had your chance to look around many different times. And maybe you're a little bit older than people expect when you make your selection. For example, what degree you're going to go for in college, or who you're going to date, who you're going to marry, what kind of a house you're going to live in, what state you want to move to, what you're going to do with your life. I mean, this could be the smallest thing. I heard the smallest infraction to the largest. So that could mean something to you. Oh, wow. Okay. I have the careerist. Look, if that doesn't fit, that was at the bottom of the deck as I just had softened my gaze just to kind of chit chat. And we have the dream of grand schemes, visions, cunning, machination. I don't even know what that is. We're not going to pretend I can pronounce things right. And aspiration. So this tendency to kind of look around and dream maybe personally gets me in trouble because I get stuck in the, oh, wow, I can do this and I can do that. And I could be a cellist. I could just order a cello on Amazon. Don't judge me, people. And then I could teach myself. And then pretty soon I could, be getting paid to play the cello somewhere. I don't know. Yeah. And this could have, made you you could be viewed as like being impulsive or making some rash decisions or having like too many options on your plate. And it's not that they're not attainable. It's that you're just giving attention everywhere else. So in order to be the best cellist possible, you have to dedicate many, many hours of study, be open to having mentors and be committed and be about that life. And, so maybe you're like myself, you're kind of like, oh, I like to dabble here. And I kind of liked this. And I like to play with clay and I could do something with that and all the things. And those are called hobbies. Yeah. nothing bad about that. But now's the time for you to show up in the world that, you know what, I have a good grasp on what is good for me, what my natural abilities are, and what I'm going to be committed to, or who I'm going to be committed to, who I'm going to choose, if this is indeed about love. Okay. Yeah. So the beacon of hope, spring buds, innocence, growth, and vulnerable. So I feel like even here, this is kind of backing up. It's a very like a child in a candy shop, right? And it's like, wow, I have so many options. And that is beautiful to see. But also, I just had the clergy, which showed up here, but I threw it back in the deck. With the clergy, I feel like this is saying it's great to show up in this manner, you know, but the time of innocence and of wonder doesn't have to be stolen simply because we make a choice, because there's always a way to like enjoy the flavor of whatever Kool-Aid we're into now, guys. So pile number 2, that's what we're talking about. Oh my goodness. Are you into the drunken Kool-Aid? I don't know what's going on here. Alcoholism, addiction, avoidance, and abuse. We're going to get a little bit more information. Yeah, so maybe we've been waylaid by things. And listen, this is no judgment once again. I have had my addictions. I have, you know, for many years just drank myself stupid, for lack of a better way of putting it. And I made a lot of choices that I'm not proud of, I do regret, and things that I cannot take back. And I've done some damage, you know, absolutely. So hopefully you're not in this energy. Hopefully you can recover from that. Or this is her looking at her past. The left is always the past. Okay, so we have love, lover, romance, reproduction, and infinity. Yeah, this is choosing your flavor, choosing how you're going to move in the world, choosing what it is that you love, and making a commitment. And maybe it was something that was destructive right now, but maybe you can turn that around and talk about it, and maybe you can sing about it, write a song about it. I don't know. I mean, let's go down those stereotypes and talk about you could be writing a country song about, you know, being on the down and outs and how love led you around this path and you went down the bottle path. And I don't know. I think you get the gist of this. Repairman. Yeah, how you've been able to repair, restart, restore, and renovate. How you've been able to utilize these experiences. That by being curious is like one thing, but by being overindulgent is something completely different. And you guys, once again, I struggle with that as well. That is not a judgment. And I will tell you, it's like I always say, no drugs, no sex, no rock and roll. So give me that ice cream. I'm like, what the heck? I'm going to do something, because nothing exceeds like excess, right? Now, that is making light of, you know, a serious situation, but I just want you to know that there's a lot of us that have overcome, and we're at different stages in healing. And simply because you find yourself at ground zero, what I would call my ground zero, where you feel like you can't make a change, you're destitute, or you need something, a radical transformation, you've lost hope in yourself. I just wanted to let you know that the world, your higher self, spirit, God, whatever it is that you call it, has not lost hope on you, because you bring so much to the table that all of this stuff, all of this darkness, all of this, I heard misery, is here for a reason, so that you can really help teach and coach other people out of it once you get to a healthier state. And this sometimes can have a lot to do with people don't really openly talk about things like this, obviously. And you know, it's not the most comfortable for me to talk about. I feel like even a lot of people in my friend circle, it's nothing to sneeze at, just kidding. But you know that you know, it's just not something that it would come up. And I have a lot of acquaintances, very few friends. So my friends, you know, I can't say that we just really sit and talk about really deep things, but I think that they know, they've seen me go through things. And I do acknowledge, and I, you know, if I think it's going to help somebody, I definitely, you know, talk to them about like what train I was on, the crazy train, right? Let me savor all the flavors, because why not? We're put here to live one life, and I really chose kind of the path of most destruction, you could say, in a lot of different ways. But you know, reeling it back, I'm just gonna say that picking what it is that you love and committing to one thing doesn't really eliminate all the other flavors. It just means that you're dedicating more time, more energy, and more faith in what it is that you are doing at that very moment moving forward, and that you could always go back and taste this and that. You can always pick up a hobby and do this and that. Doesn't make it so that you can't make a choice. A lot of times I feel like people go, oh my gosh, there's so many things out there. How do you choose? But maybe you need a mentor. Maybe you need a coach. Maybe you need a therapist, whatever the case may be. Go out there and get it. There is a lot of help to be had, a lot of people that'll be really direct and honest with you in order for you to be a grade A player, okay? So not a player as in, let me taste all the ice creams till I pass out, or like the other day, I happened to be taking a little walk and, you know, the weather is manic. And so the sun had come out and I was happening to look at the flowers and I saw this big old bumblebee just kind of curled up and taking a nap. It had tasted all the flowers apparently, and it got exhausted and kind of just passed out in one of the flowers. And it was so freaking cute. But we don't have to go that far in everything. We can try different things, and a lot of things are not going to be for you and you won't know it. And I feel like there's a way to look at things with an optimism, because you haven't been able to select, haven't been able to necessarily pick like your thing, like how you move in life and things like that. Or it could definitely have to do with love right here. But this is going to allow you to have more power in how you show up in the world. And it could be like socialite and charm, elegance, expert of romance, leisure, life. So she's choosing 2 ice creams, not just one. And maybe this can mean, like, if it is about love, that you're choosing the poly life, you know, the multiple partners, where everybody knows that, hey, you know, it's in a triad type of relationship, or I don't even know what it's called right now, but you get the point. So whatever it is that you're going to choose, it's committing to your cause, your choices, and making reparations on what you could do to really heal your soul and move forward in this life, because you're desperately needed to show up, yes, in your most authentic self. I just cracked the deck and I get the Magician right here. So you have a lot of power on your hands. And how opposed does that feel? That overindulgence of, yeah, like I have all these ice creams. I'm not going to share them because they're all mine, but I have 2 in my hand, and maybe even juggling for some time now. But with the Magician, that's going to require you to make a choice, a couple of choices, and they go from there, make more choices, building upon that, and so on and so forth, not looking back at what you've left behind and other options. So committing and mastering your own mind, and that is going to make you more authentic, your most authentic self. It's going to give you big boss energy. These cards are repeating. You could have a tie to pile number 1 as well. Perhaps you are coming from pile number 1. But this is about mastering wealth, about mastering risk, knowing what your weaknesses are. If you're coming from this demographic where, you know, we've been able to fall into addiction or whatever like that quite easily, then you know yourself and you know what pits to avoid. Some of you guys actually do need a lawyer, or you need somebody to help you to manage the scales of justice. And right here, it appears that things are unfair. That the scales are not even within view, all right? And they're out of balance, seriously. So this could be like an advisor. It says defense, case, and law. Maybe you've gotten yourself in some form of, some kind of oppositional thing in the world. Some kind of a case where you actually need a lawyer and you're going to see a judge. So there's that to take care of, to clean up. Okay, I messed up all these cards. Okay, creator, yeah. It is time for you to create from a place of, yeah, I've seen this, and, you know, I've seen the best of myself. I've seen the worst of myself. And yes, I can commit. And it comes with just literally 1 day at a time, 1 minute at a time. You know, so if this has to do with any overindulgence with drugs, with sex, with rock and roll, with overeating, with, I don't know, whatever your thing has been, you can ask your higher power to really be able to give you that direction that you need in order to conquer it. So you are definitely not stuck. Weaver of imagination, creativity, innovation, and realization. And that's how you're going to be affecting the world, is bringing all of that and showing people, look, if I could do it, you certainly can do it. And not only that, but you could have a beautiful life. You could be, you know, boss energy, big D energy, you could repair, make reparations, and things could look vastly different than what initially your options were. But it doesn't mean that they're going to be that vastly different. It'll mean just that, you know, they're different. Example, if you had some relationships that, you know, have been kind of messed up by prior choices or overindulgence or affected by addiction or whatever this case may be, you could still turn things around. There's no guarantee people will receive you with open arms, but the point of the matter is that you can make reparations and have something maybe similar or something that's genuine and honest, or give people the opportunity to accept you and meet you where you're at, and maybe both of you guys can be on a whole different trajectory with a proposal. Yeah, so don't stay locked up in your mind as like labeled like the criminal or the drug addict or the overindulgent or the non-committal, because these labels are there if you continue that behavior. Well, then, you know, if the shoe fits. But embrace change with that youth, that innovation, and optimism, a potential for growth, right? And having that optimism, that heart of a child, and be a big player in the world and put on your big pants, right? Pile number 2, because I've had to do that. Lean on your friends. I feel like be your own friend, first of all, knowing what is not good for you. And knowing is half the battle. Seek the help that you need, whether it's a mentorship, whether it's a rehab thing. And I think if you guys have been on my channel at all, I've actually shared with you that I put myself through several different rehab programs, not court mandated, but simply because I just wanted to get better. And so you do what's good for you. I do feel like people are looking at you, because I'm looking out with the soft gaze of the forest, and I see a big old eyeball looking at you. Yeah, they could be thinking, okay, pile number 2 is wild, and pile number 2 could be mad. People could be thinking all sorts of things, but honestly, I had one therapist tell me, it's not your business what other people think about you. And for me, that was very, very powerful. Pile number 2, I want to give you a really, really big hug if this is you. I just know that you can make good choices for yourself. For your health, your mental, emotional, spiritual health. Show up in your highest good. And in this case, this is choosing you, choosing vitality, choosing life, choosing to know when your back is up against the wall and you need help. But choosing to move forward and not looking back at the mistakes that we've made. 7 of Wands, you are, and you have a higher perspective. You have the ability to combat anything that comes at you sideways and comes towards you. And you've seen it. I mean, people like you and I, we have stood kind of at ground zero where things are really not pleasant to look at. They're ugly and they're embarrassing, and it could be a lot of shame affiliated with that. You could keep yourself in a mental prison. But the best course of action for you is for you to stand tall and defend yourself. Even her head is kind of lowered, but it seems like her fist is kind of clenched, and it's like, all right, well, you want to come at me? I have some news for you. I can defend myself. I come from, a tough background or bare bones or whatever, but I have everything in me to be able to advance in a powerful way. Because look, you have the King of Pentacles, King of Wands, sorry. And so you definitely have a lot of joy, vitality to embrace. And this is somebody completely different than this person that was in full on addiction. You have people cheering you on. You have a lot to be proud of yourself, even if you are like 1 day clean and sober, 2 days clean and sober. Surround yourself with people who will be your cheerleaders. And it's going to be very different for all of you, okay? And this could even talk about like if you've had experiences where you're trying to better yourself, better your life, and open up different businesses and they failed, or it's gone to heck, and you're like, okay, I don't know what to do. I just haven't. But I would propose to you that you haven't given your 1000% to yourself, first of all. Yeah. And so you're going to be embracing freedom, and how you show up is making choices that are actually good for you, the choices that give you joy, that give you freedom. And so the bottle, the bottom of the bottle isn't going to give you that freedom. It's going to give you permission to, as an excuse, do whatever it is that you want to do. But it's not going to be healthy. It doesn't earn you that freedom. It earns you imprisonment, self-imprisonment. It earns you separation, and glorifying things that really don't serve you. So finding freedom in your most authentic, whatever flavor you like and love, is here for you. Choose it. because it has already chosen you. What else do we need to know? Yeah, it's been painful, and you know, people are going to talk. Let them talk their ish. I mean, talk is talk. Talk is cheap, regardless. So is their talk. I mean, if you had people say, oh, well, they're always on to the new thing. And I know I've had people talk a lot about me, and it's like, well, kind of makes you a fan, honestly. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about what other people have to say, their nosiness. Yeah, Nine of Pentacles is you embracing your power. This is, and you don't have to be rich or whatever, but this is Nine of Pentacles, being content with where it is that you're in life. You are your own earner. You don't answer to anybody. You have the ability to have different kinds of hobbies. You sustain yourself. You're embracing your individuality, and it's very powerful. It's very powerful. Harry coming from having all these choices to having clear vision. Her eyes are totally shut, and it's like, well, I'm going to go with how I only feel. So this is, my eyes are totally open. I know how I feel about things, and I've opened them, and I can see the natural progression of the choices and options that I take, and I choose to indulge in, right? And so we do things from a sense of responsibility, but also a sense of power. With the Nine of Pentacles, how you move about in the world is going to be very, very powerful. It's a testimony of, you know what, you can do it too. Let me help you. Let me lift you up from where you're at. Let me show you the way. If I've been battered and bruised and had really, really tough times, and I've been able to overcome, let me share with you what helps me. So maybe you're going to be a mentor of sorts as well. But honest communication, again, pile number 2, I feel like you could have a message, and pile number 1. So that is what I have for you. If you're liking this kind of reading, do give me a like, share, comment, subscribe. Much, much love to you. Until next time, namaste. Hi, pile number 3. My name is Griselle with Psychic MD. If you're a repeat offender, thank you so much for your patience. And if you are a newbie, thank you so much for stopping in. Pile number 3, you chose the 10 of Cups. And look at what a phenomenal card that is. The 10 of Cups, the pure joy, celebration, emotional fulfillment, lost in the moment. I love it. Let's see, you versus the world. How to be your most authentic self, your highest self. For pile number 3, what do we have for the 2 cards, please? Soulmate. You have found your romantic counterpart. And this doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. We'll talk about it in a minute. And bonding. As you get to know each other, discover many things in common. Okay. So this could indeed have to do with that, but I feel like you're talking a little bit more about how you show up to be your most authentic self is enjoying the moment, embracing every minute of the enjoyment, the juice of life, I call it sometimes. And I feel like this energy about you can make you feel so free that other people are magnetized towards you, but also other people feel very close to you because you are at your most shining, authentic self. I feel like you're very close to this version or embody this version at different times, intermittently, right? Because we're different people at different times, depending on what we're going through in life. I also feel like you get bonded. People get drawn to you and feel a quick bonding to you. They adhere to you, okay? Now, this can be a little bit toxic sometimes because with this energy, people can want to feed off of your joy or what gives you the emotional fulfillment or how you make them feel. So we want to be careful with that because this has a lot to do with feelings. You could have a lot of people that don't want to let you go. You could have a lot of people also from the past that kind of want to, I heard, capture you, kind of want to keep you stuck maybe a little bit, but they want to just latch onto your energy. So that could be a little bit of like the downfall of this energy, but that is not your doing. So you versus the world and how to be your most authentic self. And by the way, if that describes you thus far, then you would just need to learn how to protect your energy a little bit more against vampiric energies, people that want to just utilize your energy for themselves. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that they're doing this, but they don't know how to create their own joy, their own happiness, their own sense of authenticity. I think people just naturally trust you. There's something about you that's magnetic, even if you don't have like a beautiful, I mean, I have a friend that I just did a reading for yesterday. She has an incredibly beautiful smile, just full on smile like that. The most beautiful teeth. And that is so magnetic. It's just incredibly free. It just feels so authentic, so genuine. And I could see where people would want to be drawn to her simply because of her joy level. And I work with someone who laughs a lot. So it's very magnetizing, but you'll need to learn how to put up yeah, like a psychic protection, for lack of a better way of putting it. I'm going to say pile number 2, that you versus the world. People already think that you're their soulmate. I feel like people already feel bonded to you. They feel close to you. They feel like they can bask in the glory of your laughter, in your wit. They can really enjoy the high times with you when you're flying high. And I don't mean like, I'm just talking high on life, okay? But when you're enjoying yourself to the max, it's like everybody wants to be around you. I think that's a natural thing. You can have a little bit of a wild hair. You could like a lot of color. But people feel very intimately drawn to you. Like, I feel like you are really great on one-on-one especially, but I feel like what you have to offer the world, that's what it is a little bit more of a diffuse energy that you're offering to the masses. And I think people want to come to you one-on-one, but perhaps this is stating kind of like if you're a tarot reader, you're doing readings for like one person at a time, and you don't, maybe you read at a store, at a shop, you read out of your home or whatever, or you read for friends and family. You read for yourself, and that would be like bonding, like the one-on-one. But maybe you're meant to open up a channel yourself or to do something different. Coco says, yes, do something different, huh, Coco? He's in love with this. It's a duck. Is it a duck? It's a little peep toy that I bought, and it has this mechanism. I didn't even know it quacked, but yeah. He's been obsessed with it. Oh, yeah. Look, pile number 3. You actually attract a lot of people that spy. They want to do a lot of homework. They want to do a lot of cataloging. And they could be, trying to... Interesting. I heard the word itinerary. Maybe somebody wants to see you and have like an itinerary of what they want to do or talk to you about or discuss, or they want you to disclose. But they're like really totally hidden, where I feel like you're totally transparent. And that is quite the oppositional energy here. So again, I feel like you had people who want to maybe take from you or steal your joy sometimes, or bask in the glory that isn't theirs. They could be a chef, you could be a chef, or this could be just talking about mixing different ingredients in order for them to have more room into your life, like culinary maestro, cooking, culinary artistry. Maybe you know how to present, maybe you know how to play. I love the whole idea of plating. I think it's just so beautiful when I see something online. And I had this thing, I'm all tangent time, pile number 3, where I would call it like things I will never make, and they're just so aesthetically beautiful. I'm like, wow, that is so cool how they plated that up. Not so much like the ingredients, things like that for me, but just how it looks aesthetically on a plate. So maybe that could have some bearing in it, but somebody wants to serve you up. I heard a candle whip ass. So somebody I feel like could be really angered and triggered by your, happiness, by your joy. So that could be somebody spying on you, trying to actively catalog and collect information on you, receipts, if you will. So that could be a thing, but people are people. So why should it be? I'm just kidding. Alrighty then, you versus the world. How to be your most authentic self. I think just remaining free, remaining yourself. Yeah. And people cannot even perhaps know like this side of you. Maybe people from your past don't really totally understand, or they don't understand how you can move into a spirit of like joy. And they're like, what's there to be happy about? Why are you laughing? Why are you smiling? I used to have one employee back in the day, and she would walk in and she would demand, she's like, I want to laugh too, all like salty, And I want to be like, ma'am, you're incapable of laughter. So I don't know. So right now I'm looking out into the forest. I'm seeing the letter F, The letter H, those could have something to do with this or not. The letter V is just kind of interesting. But people feel like this energy is foreign. And so you could affect people simply by your level of joy and your commitment to be free. Your smile can have a really big impact on strangers, encountered by chance, mutual aid, a new friend. Yeah, so this is like, wow, you impact people. And yeah, look at this scallywag. You have people that want to play detective in your life. It's like they ain't got nothing better to do with their time but to try to spy and, pull out information or pull out receipts, or it's almost like they're like, oh, that laugh is fake, or let me just pull out dirt. This person they got bags in their eyes. They could be up at night trying to do some homework on you. Some people, your joy and your laughter irritates the demons. Okay, I got it. Know your most authentic self, and how to present yourself is just embody this. Embody what gives you joy and happiness. And you're going to have haters and people that are salty and people that don't understand. And maybe this is a new gear for you. Like if you know how to drive a stick shift, I forget what they call it. But you have to get it in gear, and each gear could be something of meaning. Like this person, these people from your past can think, well, you've always been in one gear. You've been on low. Maybe rumble. You've been on low. Maybe you used to be a complainer, or maybe this is a new thing and people don't understand it and they're trying to see what has changed and transpired. Yeah, maybe people are saying, well, you're a madman, or you have crossed the line, you have a mental illness or something like that. Embrace of madness, frenzy, chaos, unruly, and possession, or maybe you're possessed and that's why you're acting out of character. And I feel like I'm going to propose to you that these people, for in spite of how much they are reading and they are being, I heard brought to heel. Okay. They're brought to heel, right? When you talk about like a dog heel, okay, you need to heel. It's like they need to just chill out and sit. I think that usually means, but Spirit's saying it's deeper than that. So they are triggered by your openness. And this is forcing them not only to research you, but eventually it's going to have them reflect upon themselves. Why is it that they are stirred up by this? Why is it that this stirs up their demons? And this is designed to trigger them into self-reflection so that they can do some homework on themselves. Seeker of knowledge, pursuer, and explorer of information. This could also have to do with the Akashic Records. So some of you guys are really inspiring people, unbeknownst to you, by pissing them off. And that is the irony of life, isn't it? It's so odd to say that, especially when people have like nothing but negative things to say, and want to use their spy card, and maybe they're trying to like get your password, so they've gotten your password and they're always looking, or they're wanting to check this and that, and it's like they've spent no time on self-reflection. Let's see what this is. Swindler, yeah. So maybe this person just definitely wearing a mask. They want to appear stoic. They don't want to be seen. They're in the shadows. So you have people, and I don't feel like it's just one person. You have several people wanting to like look at you from afar, but they want to be super close to you. So like in your inner circle, if you have a channel, they could subscribe. They could subscribe, they could be hidden. I mean, they could be hidden in your friends list and things like that, because they want to know if you're going to spill any tea that they can utilize in order to swindle you. Maybe this has to do with money, with prosperity. They want to steal your joy, things like that. But they're totally missing the point. So how you show up in this world in your most authentic, highest self is to continue being vibrant, being colorful, being masterful, being childlike, and enjoying the moment, enjoying your life, and not worrying overly too much about these other people. I feel like you're a lifelong learner, the seeker of knowledge. And I feel like that's the example that you give to the world, and especially people that get irritated by you and your spontaneity and your joy. And maybe you are someone that just kind of throws on a backpack. To me, those look like backpack straps. And you want to be like a traveler, and you want to go here and there and explore new things and have new experiences. Seeker of self-restraint, abstinence, purification, and discipline. Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting. I don't even know. Ascetic? I don't know. Listen, don't judge me. I can't pronounce. But I'm going to say that, yeah, maybe you're somebody who you enjoy meditation, or I met some incredibly beautiful people yesterday also at my friend's house. And it's just amazing to meet people from all different walks of life and how they're really trying to connect with their spirituality and be a part of that journey, however small of a part. Is just beautiful. And in a lot of ways, I feel like here you are meant to be, yeah, like a journalist. And maybe that's why people are going through all this. Maybe you journal, you write, like I heard chronicles. I don't know what that is. But maybe you are a reader, maybe you're a lifelong learner, and maybe you are somebody who actually has a lot of cataloging of what you've done, what you've noticed, what you've seen, what you've experienced in life, and people want to know more about this. Now, some of these people that are spying on you just want to know, like, how did you come about this information? Why are you so joyful? Like, what has turned in your life to be able to embrace this kind of vibe, when maybe perhaps, such as myself, used to be like an introvert, you didn't speak a lot on anything, and that's where I feel like I personally don't have discussions like this with friends much, or my acquaintances. It's just not to this level and not this deep, because I've always been very private, more of a writer and a journal keeper, or whatever you want to call it, than sharing my internal dialogue with people. But this platform allows me to feel a little bit free. And in some ways, I just feel like I'm obligated to really kind of report on what it is, and chronicle like what I've undergone and how I've been able to overcome different things in my life. And I have a lot of ums in my discussions here. Yeah. So I feel like I like to pause and kind of gather my brain together, because this is just about like reporting, interview, inquiry, and promotion. How you show up in the world in order for people to see how they can self-promote, how they can grow, how they can take a step up, level up into their own personal joy, into their own beautiful energy that they actually have, and away from things like necessarily spying or doing homework on other people, or that lower vibration. It's okay to learn from one another, but I feel like that is more designed to weaponize. It's a weaponization of information, and a using to want to bring people down, right? But there's a reason why I feel like you inspire a lot of contrast in people. People love you, or people absolutely cannot stand you. And I resemble that remark. And I know it, and I've made a lot of peace with it. I do spark. When people love me, they love me. And when they hate me, they absolutely hate me. There's really no milquetoast reaction to me. I think a lot of times they're like, oh, okay. Like, this person's here. It's almost like, ugh, I hate her. Or, oh, hey, that kind of a thing. And part of that is your mastery. I feel like you know how to channel the information very creatively into a world where you actually can change people's lives. I feel like you are seen as a great master. I feel like you could be mistaken for a shapeshifter, but I feel like you're pulling out of an energy that people kind of misunderstood, or didn't see, or didn't hear about you in such a way, because in a lot of ways you are the great reporter, the great interviewer, the great exposer, right? The whistleblower on your own life. And by doing that, I feel like you really inspire other people to be able to self-promote, to be able to gain footage of their own life, to be able to understand why their demons are kind of being stoked, and sparred, and why all of these things really have such a hold on their mind. Like, you live rent-free in a lot of people's minds, good and quote bad. Now, once again, you versus a world, I feel like you live rent-free, yeah, in such a way that it if it starts out nefarious, if people don't like you, if they're, once they get to know you and once they gain a small understanding of where you're coming from, they can't help but be charmed and seduced by you in a lot of ways. I'm not talking sexual seduction necessarily, but it's seduced into thinking for themselves, exploring, why does this person piss me off and what's going on there? What do they have that I don't have? And that's a great place to be, because in a lot of ways you could serve to be the catalyst for somebody else's change, somebody else's transformation. And that is really powerful. And that's what this world needs. So I feel like it's been a little bit painful for me personally. I don't know about your journey, to be that catalyst for other people, knowing that they are suffering from kind of like an internal crisis or mental health issue where they get riveted on you or focused or hyper vigilant, but something about you is trying to help that person transform and to grow, and you just have to let it be. Don't get caught up in, oh, well, I'm not trying to do that. No, you are designed to show up in your most authentic self. If you feel free, be free. If you feel joyful, be joyful. And once again, I feel like your level of intimacy with people around your level of understanding is unmatched. And that is a great, I heard seductress. I don't know why that keeps coming up. And maybe perhaps this could be mistaken. Yeah. Is a lot of people thinking that you're in a seductive phase, or that you want to seduce people, or that you're trying to, draw people to you. And I feel like if they were to look with an honest eye, they would see that that is not that at all. So I'm loving your energy. I understand it. I feel like continue embodying that. Also, enjoy colors more. I think that the color yellow for your solar plexus is going to be very important. Getting out in the sun is going to be very important. Also, I feel like even her throat chakra to me all of a sudden, because she has a long neck, appears to me like kind of taking precedence right now. So speak your truth within your community. And I feel like you're finding a way to do these team building exercises. The more that you express your truth, the more community that you engage with, the more people understand and level up. And I feel like you are actually serving to raise the vibration of the planet. I know that sounds like a lofty goal, but people know intuitively that you're a great manifester. They feel bonded, they feel magnetized. And I feel like you are fully charged, simply because you have like an innocence and a purity about you that you just want to give. It's not like you're expecting and you don't want anything from people. And I think that the closer people are to you and the more you speak your truth, people understand that. Yeah. Look, stalker of prey, aim, strategy, pursuit, and survival. Now, people that are, signed up, they are determined to misunderstand you. That they just are. And I feel like they're always on the hunt. They're always trying to find a weakness, always trying to find an angle. They always strategize. He himself is standing in the middle of a forest trying to take a peek and see if he can gain advantage of the prey. But, I don't feel like that's like a stalker that's going to, do like physical harm and stuff like that. But of course, trust your intuition always. It is there for a reason. I feel like you've already learned these lessons. Yeah. But I feel like you paint a different picture for people. And I feel like you activate people where they're at in such a way that the colors are incredibly vibrant. Have you ever been to that Van Gogh experience? It's just, to me, it was a great experience. I love just seeing the different colors and the way things moved, and it was just very cool to feel like you were living in a painting for a little while. And I feel like you definitely activate people. You help them to create with your own creativity, your own creation, listening to your intuition. I feel like you're incredibly intuitively led, inspired. That's awkward, but you're welcome. So depict. Nope, not depict. Deficit? I don't know what that is. Sublimate. I need a dictionary, please. Abstraction, form, and sensation. So yeah, I feel like when people are around you, the words that you activate some awakening within them. And that activation feels good, and it feels deep, and it feels profound, and it feels magnetic, and it feels I almost feel kind of like giddy, a little bit tingly, a little bit addictive. So you just want to watch for people that, again, get addicted to your energy for the sake of addiction. Oppositional forces, how are they benefiting? Well, the people that are always looking, you know, spying and trying to gain information or simply seeking a way for your downfall. I mean, that's kind of putting it bluntly. Yeah, but you, my friend, are the stars. So you stay close to spirit. You stay close to your intuition. Listen to your intuition. I feel like you have a great propensity for movement, to make movements, to inspire, to create art as well, that really move and generate an awakening in other people, that speak to other people. If you're an artist, I feel like you are sitting pretty and you are listening. You could be very clairaudient, like I think all three piles have that as well. But this is going to help you listen to your intuition and those little nudges of, oh, hey, why don't you try, you know, I'm starting to get a little bit obsessed with clay once again. I'm like, no, because my brain tends to latch on and then it's kind of a rabbit hole from there on. But you could have one of those things where it's going to be very prosperous. It's going to be very beautiful. It's going to, even if you're not generating like an income from it, right? Because we're in this toxic, like, boss energy. Let's go do, let's conquer, let's win, let's, you know, make this. Does it generate an income? I feel like whatever it is that you intuitively feel, go ahead and do it. Because I feel like this time you're sitting on roses. I feel like you are smelling beautiful. I feel like you are highly looked up to. It's interesting because I'm like oppositional forces and how they benefit. And it's like, well, I feel like they don't. But, you know, if they don't embrace what you spark, that awakening within them, then they're not going to benefit. But they have the option to benefit from you just listening to your intuition, doing your own thing, and being just simply a person living their life, living their best life, a role model, embracing all the changes and challenges with grace, with beauty within, and allowing things to be simply as they are. You're no longer like trying to get your elbows in there and like fight for somebody to come out of the darkness and fight for them to be their highest self. You are simply embodying your highest self and allowing people to choose what it is that they need to choose for themselves. Yeah, you are beyond that. You are resting. This is such a beautiful image, you guys. I feel like with her orange right here, I feel this is a little bit like jailbird vibes. So you could have felt like you were in jail. You were trapped. You were like an inmate. You were robotic in a lot of ways, or maybe you were doing things in such a manner that you fell in line with society. You know, I need to work and do this and do that. But it wasn't for your highest good. And I feel like you're taking a break from not only the two moons right here, from not only like other people and trying to help them to better their lives, but, you know, if people don't want to improve, then that's their prerogative. You're allowing them to be. People are people, so why should it be? I'm so done with myself. Listen, you could have been feeling like an inmate, and I feel like you are done with that. That energy of, yes, you are still resting. You are resting on the fact that you can't change anyone else, but you can only continue your growth. You can only advance your own ascension and really share it with other people in hopes that they too get inspired. And yeah, if they get triggered, you're allowing, not that we can change it anyways, you're allowing for that trigger to happen, and you're allowing yourself to ascend and evolve and be a source of inspiration. Even if we don't think of it that way and it's like, woo, I'm going to be a source of inspiration, that people can manipulate that sentence however they will. But I feel like you have very gentle, loving energy. It could be that you're stepping into a playful era where you're playing. I'm seeing a lot of pink right here. And my friend called it something, when she sees pink, the kiss. Oh my goodness, I wish I could remember what it was. I'll text her. Maybe I'll put it in here. It's almost like the sun kissing the water with the ocean. She explained it, but the way she said it was so perfect. But I feel like you are just meant to kind of listen to your intuition and continue doing you. You're attracting the right people to you. You're attracting community. You're attracting soul tribe. And that is incredibly powerful. Look. Friend, I'm super excited for you. I know this reading was long. If you like this kind of reading, do give me a like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know what resonated. But look at this. Look at this. Look at how you've affected people. I feel like you have served to like light up, spark up, ignite, and initiate a lot of people in the world. And even if you can't see it, just have faith that that is exactly what's happening simply by you being you. We love you. I'm so excited and super inspired by you. And that's what I have. So yeah, much love. Excited to hear about your journey. Until next time, namaste.